Alright, here we are, final week of 2019. We did it, it's here, you're here, I'm here, we're all here. And now it's time to send it over to Nick, who is here for that final week. Alright, final week here. And for this one for 2019, I'm going to end out the year with Wandersong. Is what it's called. I don't know, the artwork had like a guy singing, and it's called Wandersong, so I'm guessing it somehow involves traveling and singing based on the title alone, but I have been fooled in the past on that and then the cover art, so I don't know, but we will find out how this last week goes. Wandersong is a game that was created by Greg Lobanoff and published by Humble Bundle as part of their presented by Humble Bundle games that came out on September 27th of 2018 on the computer through the Humble Bundle store and Steam, as well as on the Nintendo Switch through the eShop. It's actually the first Game Maker Studio game that is released on the Nintendo Switch. It then became a part of the PlayStation 4 in the beginning of 2019 and on the Xbox One at the end of 2019. Wandersong has been defined as an adventure puzzle game where the object of the game is to use the power of music in order to go and solve the different puzzles with the color wheel and song choices and notes that are throughout the game to go over the different mechanics. So you play as a bard who has to wander the world in search of the Earth Song, which eventually becomes known as the Wandersong. I'm going to send it over to Nick to cut into more detail about the game so he can kind of break down his thoughts on it for the final week of 2019. Nick? Alright, final week is Wandersong, which I played, and it's a surprisingly fun game that I was not expecting to end the year with. I thought it would be easy, which it overall was, but I really enjoyed the kind of message behind it and the ridiculousness of the bard main character and how much he likes talking and has this overwhelming optimism about everything. But yeah, Wandersong is fantastic. I think it's a really fun game that uses the puzzle mechanics and a wheel that's all about different notes very well in terms of in the beginning on how to use birds to go and jump up super high to solving different puzzles and getting into different places, and like the enemies, the few that you do have to go and fight in the game kind of have different motions on how they do sound, of if it's a quick note that you need to go and put in for like the ghosts in the beginning, or if it's kind of like a wave of music that you need to go and like hold it in a direction or use it to block something. It's pretty smart and intuitive and really clever on how the developer did all of these sorts of things and did it all in Game Maker, which I use in college to go and make basic games. So I kind of have an idea of the engine and how it's used, and I think it was done brilliantly. I think I want to say Paper Mario-esque mechanic of like how things look is very cool, and just the overall story, the art, the characters, everything about it made it a fun game. There were parts that I was just like, okay, the optimism is a bit too much for me, but I think as a whole, I think it's a fun, lighthearted game that does have a bit of a story and a mission and an idea behind it that I think people can really resonate with and really enjoy, and it makes something that is typically in the background of the game with the music become the forefront and become this overwhelming driving force behind it. I mean, you go and look at the plot, and it's this goddess named Aya who basically create the universe by singing it into existence, and there's this whole idea of the world's ending because that's just what time it is, and so the bard, the main character, goes about trying to collect the different parts to the Earth Song, which is this mythical thing that's supposed to go on. Once it's all together and sung, then the world is saved. And so you kind of go along this adventure there to go and find it. And I think it is something that is super nice and simple to go and play, but as I said, deeply profound in how it's executed. So I really enjoyed it. It's something that I definitely found surprising how much I enjoyed. So I'm gonna definitely say people would like that. Yeah, that's what I think of the final game of this year, which is weird to go and say. So for the final time in 2019, who is gonna want to go and play this game? I think people who really like music and music in games would go and love this game. I think it's something that people who enjoy simplistic puzzle games would go and enjoy this game. I think anyone who likes games would go and enjoy this game. I think it's a game for everyone. I think that is what makes this game nice, is that really anyone can go and play it, and it's not overly difficult. It's designed for all ages, all sorts of gamer levels, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, I think everyone would go and enjoy this one. And the final question of, are you going to keep playing this game? As much as I want to go and say that I would go and keep playing it because of how much I enjoyed it, it is something that I perfected, and I there's nothing else for me to go and do in it except talk to people about like how great of a game it is, and try to get them to go and play it. That's all that's left to do for it, and that's all that I can go and do, and that's what I'm trying to go and do in this series and throughout this year, was go and talk about the games and talk about 52 different games, and now 104 if you're adding in last year, and just get people to kind of look at games and maybe consider playing them and try them out if they enjoy them. That's what I'm going for. So here's to another year after this of more games. So stay tuned for even more excitement there. And hope 2019 was good.